everyone, it's Tarnished Treasures, and I have a yard sale haul for you, and we have my daughter to thank for this yard sale haul video because I didn't really know of too many sales going on today, and my daughter happened to say that she saw a sign on a pole by her school advertising a yard sale. Well, that is my favorite neighborhood to shop in. They normally do a community sale, but they decided not to have one last year. I actually don't think we could even have one last year. And this year they're thinking that they're going to do it in the fall. So I guess a block got together and decided that they did want to have a sale. So there was 5 people set up. My favorite lady actually lives right there on that corner, but she decided not to. So hopefully she will in the fall. But there were still lots of people set up that had good stuff. So first I'll share these. I paid 50 cents a piece for these little hats and headpieces. And vintage millinery is very difficult to find if you're thrifting. So if you look on eBay, it's very expensive. So to find all of this millinery on these pieces for only 50 cents, I was so happy. Plus I think the pieces are really pretty. So this hat isn't in the best shape. The netting's coming off. It's lifted up in some spots, and I'll probably use these for some type of project, just kind of repurpose them. But they're these beautiful shades of green velvet leaves with the flowers, just gorgeous. And then this piece, probably I'll just leave it together. I just loved the blue little pom-poms, definitely look kind of like felted. Fabulous little shabby velvet bow over here. And then this one does have a label that says Nettie Original, Madison Avenue, NYC, 50 cents. I'm probably going to display this in my guest bedroom, just drape it over something. I'm going to use a paintbrush to dust it off. And for this piece, since it is coming apart over here, instead of resewing it, I think I'd like to make some type of wreath. So make a wreath form or get something metal, maybe even an old metal sewing hoop, and attach these to make a beautiful wreath for spring or fall. I paid $3 for this pair, and I'm always looking for things that have the domed glass, or in this case it's plastic, to make shadow boxes in or to frame some things that are 3D. So I did want to take them apart because actually this one had turned sideways in the frame like that. So I started with this one. It kind of popped out kind of easy, but when I discovered it was plastic, then I thought, well, maybe this isn't really anything special if it was just framed in plastic. This is metal though. So I'm thinking that I might actually take this off and put another one of my dancing pins in this. So I could put a piece in like that, and I might not even put the plastic back in because I feel like you're able to appreciate it more without the plastic. See how it's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say dusty, but like cloudy just a little bit. Or maybe you don't even realize it until you see it without. I do believe the velvet is a little faded in this one, like a brown, and this one's this nice black. So those are my thoughts. Maybe I will just leave these in because I do think they're pretty, or maybe they will turn into something else. But at $1.50 a piece, it's just, I can't resist these little frames because it just gives me a lot of options to be creative and make something new. So I took this off and I discovered that this is plastic. So the fact that most of this is just plastic tells me that this is not something that's really much of anything. I mean, just mass produced to make this art piece. It weighs nothing, just kind of looks like resin from a mold, but still pretty. So I'm gonna keep it and do something with it. But I really love the simplicity of this gold around the black velvet. So this was an awesome find at a yard sale. Actually, someone was looking at these and inquired about the price. And then I heard him say, "How much for these mother of pearl pieces?" And I turned my head over and I saw them. And then I saw the person who asked, and I know this person, and I know that they collect sterling. And when she said $15, I said, "Oh, that's it. I'm not gonna get them. He's gonna buy them." But he didn't say anything, and I just walked right over. And he didn't pick them up, and I asked the lady again. I said, "How much are these?" And she said 15, and I said, "Okay, I'm getting them. I collect them." So I just rolled them right up and paid for them. And I didn't even pull them out of these little dividers because I said I just want to go home and like discover my treasure there. So I think I got a great deal because it is 7 pieces, but it also has the felt holder. And I normally pay 50 cents or $1 for the felt holder. And then for these pieces that I find, I would say I've paid $1 to $4 for the ones that I have found. So it adds up to be $2 a piece plus $1 for the holder, which is right in like the mid-range of what I have found them for before. So I was happy with it. So the first thing that I saw though when I was there was that it had a caviar spoon. So the caviar spoon is pretty much identical. You know, as much as a handmade natural piece can be identical. The little collars are so similar. That was awesome. So this is the one that I had from the store, and this is the one that was in this collection. And this little collection is just like mine. It's mismatched in different brands, collected over time. There's a spoon. I don't have any spoons, but it would need to be repaired since the base metal appears to be coming through. Now, I haven't cleaned or polished these yet, so we'll see. So this piece here is marked sterling, and a few of them that look like they might have been part of a set say sterling mounted, meaning just this piece is the sterling. And it does say English plate, made in USA. I also noticed this handle when I was at the sale, and I saw that it had an engraved D, and it is marked sterling on the side. And it's got the W with the circle, which there's one Sterling company, Webb, and then there's one Webster. And I do believe this one's Webster, just recalling from when I did my video about my vintage, I think, baby collection. So what's really awesome is that besides the price that I paid for each of these, a lot of these are pieces that I don't own. Like I have a lot of like butter knives or dinner knives and some serving spoons, but not something that has a mother of pearl blade to it. And I did not look up what each one of these utensils is used for, just because it was so many to have to look up and remember, but I will be doing that afterwards. So here's this piece. And that I know is a fruit knife because I have been to a yard sale before and the person had spoons just like this made in Germany, and on her label she said fruit knife. And it's marked right here at the top. And this brand says Meriton, I think, cutlery company, and then it says 1 something like 35. It's like not imprinted clear enough, but I did look that up online and it said the same company, like 1850 to 1899, like some type of range like that. So it's older. I'll do like more research on afterwards. So here's a small little knife. Guess you could use it for anything. Use it for butter if you wanted, even though I don't think it's technically a butter knife. So that one says sterling mounted, just like this piece. And even though it doesn't have the little ball there, it has that similar triangle shape up there. And then let's look at this one. So this one has the ball. So I do believe that this might have been a set since they're so similar. And then some of these other pieces. Okay, so we have a fork, but this looks different from the seafood fork that I have, and it says the sterling mounted as well. And then this is an interesting knife, and I don't know what that is used for. It's sharp, but it's not sharp. Like I can run my finger on it, but it definitely could cut something. So I'm gonna polish these even though they're in good condition and clean them up, and then look to see what the intended use was for them. And I always wash these when I get them. And that one just says butter spreaders. My last find at the yard sales in the neighborhood, you can guess what it is since I pulled out my linen book. And thanks to this book, I'm going to say I knew what I had, but it also made me look closer. And that's when I discovered more about this piece. So I'm in the European linen section, which seems like I show this section a lot. So right here, let me show you on this page. There are some blue pieces, and then there are blue pieces here. And I had read this a while ago that said blue and white embroideries are very collectible. Blue embroidery threads were very difficult to acquire centuries ago. When a young lady had blue thread, she was fortunate. And then it talks about how blue thread, obviously, you can get nowadays very easy. So let me show you what I got. This wasn't even out on display. There was a little basket on the ground with like 3 linens, and I could see that they had some antique lace and crochet at the bottom. And behind it was like a reusable birthday bag filled with more linens. So since I knew that the lady collected and had older things, I decided to look through that bag. And I saw this piece, and it grabbed my attention because it does have the fringe, which is not in good shape, pretty much gone. But then I saw this work, and I said, let's see if it's a runner or what it is. It's definitely, I'm gonna say, like been bleached, maybe by accident, because there's light and dark spots here. So I flipped it over, and I didn't think that it would be a lot. Even though she had higher prices on some things, I thought, this isn't in great condition. You know, how much could you ask for a linen that's not in the best condition? And she only wanted $1 for it. But because I had noticed the weave and the pattern and that it was blue, I kept looking, and look at what I found. The largest monogram embroidery to date that I have found. And when I saw this with the knots, I said, ooh, this is old, this is handmade. And you can just tell, like looking right here, it's not done on a machine. So I think the thing that makes this knot look so great is that it's wrinkled. Because once I wash it and iron it, I think it's gonna look so good. Now, not too much I can do about this, but that is the beautiful part. And for only $1. So that's what I found at the yard sales in my neighborhood. And then my daughter and I hit up some free sales in the neighborhood, and also an estate sale. So stay tuned for another video on those things.